Masturbation, that most solitary of symphonies, the handcrafted tale of self-discovery. Let us delve into this manual manifestation of mortal desires. Oh, masturbation, that sweet, solo carnal sonnet, the palm-penned ode to self. 'Tis the bard's unspoken soliloquy, performed behind drawn curtains on the stage of one's own bedchamber. In this age of instant gratification, masturbation stands as the last bastion of true self-reliance. Here in the theater of the mind, we are simultaneously playwright, director, and star of our own body production. But soft, what light through yonder zipper breaks? It is the east, and the hand is the sun. This act, once whispered of in dark corners and condemned from pulpits high, now struts and frets its hour upon the stage of public discourse. Yet, for all our supposed enlightenment, does it not remain the Voldemort of venereal activities, that which must not be named in polite company? Consider, dear friends, the paradox of this most intimate act. In seeking connection with ourselves, do we not simultaneously disconnect from others? It is Narcissus' modern mirror, reflecting not our visage, but our deepest desires and most fantastical whims. And like poor Narcissus, are we not in danger of drowning in our own reflection? But let us not paint this act with too dark a brush. For is it not also a celebration of self-love in its most literal form? In a world that demands we give of ourselves until we are empty, masturbation stands defiant, a rebellious act of self-care. It is the sexual equivalent of singing in the shower, a private performance where enthusiasm trumps skill, and the only standing ovation that matters is our own. So let us raise a hand to this most personal of pastimes. In the words almost uttered by the great bard himself, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any other's bed. And thus, with palms open and minds closed, we embrace this solitary pleasure. For in the end, are we not all merely players in the great cosmic game solitaire? Welcome to today's episode. This is Brabro. Do no harm, be good to yourself, and enjoy life to the fullest. Today, we're diving deep into a surprisingly titillating history, the history of male masturbation. This topic is not just a biological act. It reflects deep cultural and social underpinnings across different eras. Starting with ancient Egypt, where masturbation was not only accepted, but revered. The Egyptians saw a profound connection between masturbation and creation. Legend has it that the god Adam created the universe through self-stimulation. This bold narrative reveals their relaxed views towards what many cultures see as taboo. However, transitioning to ancient Greece, we see a stark contrast. The Greeks regarded masturbation as uncivilized, linked to a lack of self-control, behavior fitting only slaves or barbarians. This shift exemplifies how cultural perspectives can influence the perception of personal practices. Fast forward to 18th century Europe during the Enlightenment. While you'd expect a liberal stance during an era celebrated for reason, the opposite was true. Masturbation became a focal point for societal anxieties. Figures like Voltaire and Kant saw it as a threat to civic engagement, believing that excessive self-gratification could lead to societal decay. This period also saw medical professionals adding to the hysteria, with dire warnings about the health consequences of masturbation, including blindness and gout, claims that now seem almost comical. In the 19th century, fears led to extreme measures in British schools, where students were encouraged to visit prostitutes to discourage masturbation, deemed preferable to what was labeled self-abuse. This era also gave rise to bizarre anti-masturbation devices, reminiscent of dystopian torture equipment. Thankfully, by the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the tide began to turn. Pioneers like Havelock Ellis and Alfred Kinsey studied human sexuality more systematically, debunking myths and establishing masturbation as a normal, healthy part of human development. Their work began to shift medical and public opinion, though stigma didn't vanish overnight. Taboo. O taboo, thou art society's velvet rope, the unwritten law's scarlet letter, the forbidden fruit's siren song that beckons us to take a bite and damn the consequences. In the grand theater of human existence, taboo plays the role of a masked villain, simultaneously repelling and enticing, a paradox wrapped in an enigma and deep fried in the batter of moral ambiguity. It is the thin ice upon which our collective morality teeters, threatening to plunge us into the icy waters of social ostracism with one misplaced step. But soft, what hypocrisy through yonder window breaks! For is not the very essence of taboo a construct of our own making? We erect these invisible barriers with the fervor of zealots, only to peek over them with the curiosity of schoolchildren. It's as if we've created an elaborate game of don't press the red button, then place that button squarely in the center of our cultural living room. Consider, dear audience, the delicious irony of taboo. It is the social equivalent of reverse psychology, making the forbidden all the more tantalizing. Like Shakespeare's Juliet, we want it all the more because we know we shouldn't have it. A plague, oh, both your houses, we cry, even as we secretly hope the plague will cancel the party we weren't invited to anyway. But let us not be too hasty in our judgment of this societal safeguard. For does not taboo serve as the spice in the otherwise bland stew of social conformity? It is the ghost pepper in the curry of human experience, simultaneously painful and exhilarating. Without it, we'd be left with a world as exciting as a butter sandwich on white bread, nutritionally complete, perhaps, but utterly devoid of flavor. So here's to taboo, that unsung hero of human progress. For every taboo broken, a new horizon of understanding dawns. It is the rock against which the waves of social change crash, gradually eroding the cliffs of outdated morality. Today's taboo is tomorrow's tedium, and in this constant evolution, we find the very essence of human growth. In the end, is not the existence of taboo a testament to our own complexity? It is the line we draw in the sand, daring ourselves to cross it. And in that moment of transgression, do we not find our most authentic selves? As the bard himself might say, to taboo or not to taboo? That is the question. And oh, what a gloriously human question it is. Forgive me if I'm getting carried away again. As we reflect on these historical attitudes, it's intriguing to ponder what current practices will future generations question. Before we wrap up, consider this. The once taboo act of masturbation has become integrated into modern life, yet continues to provoke discussion and debate. This exploration not only uncovers the hidden connections and challenges our assumptions, but also enriches our understanding of how deeply personal acts are intertwined with broader social and cultural forces. And on that note, it's time to resurface from this deep dive. We hope these insights inspire your own explorations. Until next time, everyone, happy exploring. Do no harm, be good to yourself, and enjoy life to the fullest. This is Brabro. See you next time.